Hello and welcome everyone to SHIFTology Live. I am your host, Terry Wildemann, and I am bringing you a guest today that definitely emulates everything that I love about entrepreneurship. As most of you know who have been watching SHIFTology Live and my other podcast, Awaken the Possibilities, I am all about entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old, and I just love it. And bringing you stories that will guide you, especially when you're frustrated, because let's face it, as entrepreneurs, we can get very frustrated. Things aren't moving fast enough. We leave a big job. We're really scared about doing things, and we jump into having our own business. And we think that all these wonderful things are going to happen. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what happened? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about with Steve, the creator of Eventraptor. His story is so dynamic that I'm not going to read a bio. I'm just going to have him share with you his delightful story because I will not do justice to it. So, Steve, please share with the SHIFTology Live audience what your story is all about.
Well, first of all, Terry, thank you so much for having me here at SHIFTology Live. I'm absolutely delighted to speak to you and to your audience.
Thank you.
So, my story, I guess my story starts around 2014 when I got this invitation to apply for a job with a lady in the US called Mary Morrissey. And now Mary is a spiritual self-development leader, really, in her field. And she also has a company who educates and certifies life coaches. Nowadays, the company probably does around 500 certification of life coaches every year. So I joined her in 2014. I was the tech guy who was helping out the marketing guy. Back then, the company had around 25 staff. And I left the company in July last year. We were around 100 people, and I was a chief technology officer. I was running a team of 7 people. Now, here's the thing with Mary is that she does a lot of in-person events. Used to do a lot of in-person events, I should say. In 2019, I think we were doing over 50 of them. These were events running from like 20 people to 500 people. And she also had one event where we did around 900 to 1,100 people in each of those events. So I come from a space where, it is a lot. And, you know, when we did these big events, we would go to a hotel for a week and we would have 40 to 50 staff turning up to actually help produce the whole thing and put it all together. So it's very, very significant effort that goes into that. Yeah. And my role as the chief technology officer was really that all the other parts of the company would have the right information at the right time, that we knew who was going to be turning up at the event, you know, having control of all the data. I was responsible for the CRM system, the customer relationship management system. I was also responsible for all of the landing pages. You know, we were doing launches every 2 months. And in these launches, we could have up to 5,000 people coming and watching a webinar.
Wow.
You know, so very significant numbers here. And but I was in a place in my life where I wasn't happy with what I was doing and how I was doing it, and I wanted to make changes. So
You were ready to shift.
I was absolutely ready to shift. And we did one big event with Mary. You know, in April we did 500 people in a virtual event, and then in June we did 1,800 people in a virtual event.
Was it June last year?
That was June last year.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, because we had to pivot, we went from being in person to virtual. And instead of doing an in-person event with around 1,000, 1,100 people, we ended up doing 1,800 people. And we had 10 different Zoom rooms at the same time where Mary was speaking to all 10 rooms. And when they brought another person on, they was going into all the 10 rooms, etc. We had a very big AV setup for all of this, and the team who was expert at doing that part of it. Mm-hmm. And I was involved in making all of the data available at the right time in the back end and making sure people got into the Zoom rooms and all of that. But I decided I wanted to leave Mary and go and do some. Basically, I wanted to become a coach. So I handed in my notice in July and said I'm going to be resigning the role. And that was in the middle of pandemic as a CTO, 6-figure salary. I said, no, it's time to go and do something on my own.
You are brave and courageous. So I'm curious, before you continue on, what was your intuition saying to you? Because as you know, I'm all about intuition and entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Well, my intuition really said that, in every adversity, there is opportunity. And I really think that has been borne out. The amount of virtual events that we currently have, and if you've been able to adopt to the virtual world, the opportunities of, even if you're not running it yourself, but actually to participate in events is incredible.
Yes.
I used to go to the US 6-7 times a year, and now I'm in 6-7 events a week.
Wow.
Just speaking that we're here now and speaking to each other. Okay, we did have interviews internationally before, but when you're going into meeting and you or into networking meetings with 50 to 100 to other people, the power of that creates, and the synergies it creates, and the opportunities it creates. And people a year ago, before COVID, I should say, didn't really go much into that. They might have meetings, but it was difficult to find them. Now they're everywhere. So.
Got it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I know for me, I've been online for 10 years, for the last 10 years. And I love the online world because it allows me to travel wherever I want to go and just take my laptop with me.
Absolutely.
Great. So you left Mary in June.
Yeah.
And what did you do? Or July. Okay.
Well, what I did was actually I resigned in July, but I was actually working with Mary until October.
Okay.
And at the same time, I was starting up my own coaching business. And I knew that the fastest way to grow my list was to do an event. And out of all the events that you can do that to grow your list is doing a summit. That is like the number one activity, in my opinion. And why? Because you're increasing your authority and your influence and your stature by being the host of a summit, by pulling together experts. Their expertise will sort of leak onto you. It will, by just being with other leaders on stage, with other speakers on stage, you get credibility and authauthity. And so for me, having a summit was my first thing. So I created the Solopreneur Accelerator Summit. I did that for 4 days, and we had 27 speakers plus myself in that summit.
How cool is that? And one of the things with summits is sometimes it's herding cats. It is, you're getting this person, information from this person, information from that person, on and on and on. And I know when you and I met, we met in January of this year, 2021, and kept meeting at all these events. And we've become very good friends. And what I know is that even though you wanted to be a coach, there was something else there that happened on your journey. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Oh, absolutely. So first of all, I was very happy to do a summit because I had an online platform designed to handle summits that I was going to be using. So doing a summit was going to be very easy. And by the way, in my mindset, there are no problems. There's just issues that you have to overcome. There's just challenges that you need to overcome. So I spent, I don't recommend people doing what I did, first of all, okay? But I spent the whole of 2 weeks putting together a summit with 27 speakers. I would say that you probably should take 2 or 3 months with it so you don't get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Right.
But what does that say about your work ethic and your ability to manage a project? It says an awful lot about you.
Well, thank you. But, I come from a world where I was the chief technology officer and leading a department in very high pressure situations. I've also spent over 21 years now studying effective marketing, psychology, persuasion, and how copywriting works and everything. How do you attract clients? So I was using everything that I've learned from technology point of view, from a marketing point of view, to put together this summit. Now, I cheated a little. I had somebody who found speakers for me, and they found over 20 speakers. Right. So, but in 2 weeks, to go from scratch, from nothing, to actually having a summit and doing it live for 4 days with 27 speakers, it is a leap. But I was going to be okay because I had this platform. And then after a few hours of trying to shoehorn my business, my summit into the platform, I was tearing my hair out. The platform wouldn't do it the way I wanted it to be done. I really didn't like the way that they were doing it. So
you were using somebody else's platform.
Yes, I was going to use somebody else's platform.
Got it.
And I gave up. I couldn't use their platform. So I used the platform to gather the speaker information. That was all I could do. The rest of it I had to do myself. So I wrote all of my own code, my systems, to be able to put the summit on. And it was a great success. The summit worked really, really well, and the speakers loved it. And there was a great opportunity. I grew my list from around 100 people to 750. I added 650 people to my mailing list.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And I sold for, I think it was around $2,000. I can't remember off the top of my head, in VIP packages. And I also sold $2,000 to a 6-week course that I was running. So I made some money from that as well. So very, very happy. So naturally, I want to repeat the experience, but now I already have some code and I know I can do it better. So I decided to go for it again in January. But I decided to go a little bit bigger. So I did it for 5 days with 37 speakers. And I gave myself 3 weeks, plenty of time this time, and not quite as stressed as 2 weeks would be.
Some people will hear 3 weeks and go, is he out of his mind?
Well, here's the amazing thing, right? Okay, so I'm not including the time that I took to write systems, because that's what I do. I create systems, I automate things. So it took me quite a lot of hours to create the system that allowed me to save time. But as a concept, if you do something and it takes an hour every time, you have to do it 10 times.
Right.
It's worth spending 5 hours automating it to do it automatically thereafter, because then you only spend 5 hours instead of 10 hours.
Exactly. So, wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's my motto. Wash, rinse, repeat. Do it once and get it as great as you can possibly get it, and then wash, rinse, repeat.
Exactly. So the system I created then, one of the biggest headaches of doing a virtual summit is that the speakers never, ever, ever give you all of the right information at the right time. You have to go and chase them. And then
you're chasing cats. You're chasing cats. Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Chasing cats. Exactly. And what you have to do is create a spreadsheet, and you put all of the information in it. And if the title is missing from that person and the link in the description is missing from that person, you have to create an email. You go, oh, we're missing the title from you, and the other one, we're missing the description and the link from you, kind of thing.
Oh my God, I've been there.
You've been there, right? So what did I do? I spent 5-10 hours creating an email that actually automatically went through all of the records, that all of the speakers, and picked out, is there any information missing? If there is, send an email with the requesting the missing information. Wow. And then when I had spent my 5-10 hours of creating that, every time I needed to send out an email because people had not provided me, I went to my system, click, done. So
that is brilliant.
It would take me a minute, not even a minute. So I spent, if you take all of the time that I spent on my second summit, right, and saying not the time to automate, but the time to actually manage. So this is writing all of the email content for the speakers and for the attendees, spending the time sending out all of the emails, the time to chase everybody to try to get information in from them, sending out the reminder emails that, hey, it's day 3 and, come and speak, come and watch. Here's the lineup of the speakers today. Here's the time they're speaking. Here's the link to get access. Hey, speaker, you're speaking today and you're speaking at 11:55 p.m. No, not p.m., 11:55 a.m. And here's the link you're going to be using. And by the way, if you want to promote, here's the link you want to promote. And your goal is to get 20 opt-ins, and you currently got 17. You're nearly there. Keep pushing. Time to do all of that and customize it for every single speaker I had. Less than 10 hours.
Wow.
Right? Less than 10 hours, because the system did it for me. That's what automation and systemization is all about. You create a system that will do it for you.
That is brilliant. It really, really is. So tell me about this next pivot, this next shift that happened, because this is the part that's so juicy.
Yeah. Well, the summit is called the Solopreneur Accelerator Summit because, excuse me, my audience, it was solopreneurs, coaches who are starting out in business and wondering, how can I market myself? How do I find my customers? What's my messaging? I wanted to help them. But after the summit, the speakers came to me and said, this is the most organized and well-run summit I've ever attended. You
Nice.
obviously know what you're doing. How can I use your software to run my own summit? And I went like, well, yes, you can use my software to run your summit. Just give me a few months.
There you go.
We literally from people just asking about it and wanting to know more about it, the whole Eventraptor really got created. I had helped somebody before. We did speak to him a little bit about what we were going to do, but it was always, I'm going to create a small platform and we're going to launch that and I'm going to help people have run their own summits. And it was for me to run summits and things like that for my clients. And then suddenly it was just a huge awakening. And this was probably like early February, huge awakening, like, wow, I just have to stop being the midlife solopreneur that I was and run this other thing and go, we're doing Eventraptor full time. And that's really where it started.
And I understand that this is a family business, correct?
It is a family business. So my wife and I are equal owners in it. We have 75% and my son has 25%. He has the co-founder. He is the chief Steve kicker when I don't do the right things at the right time. And he is also tremendous at actually, well, he keeps track of everything that we need to do. He sends out all of the emails that goes out. He does a lot of the setup of, when we're doing another demo for somebody and arranging that and signing up all of the invitations to it. We have just run an affiliate competition. He's done all of the emails regarding that and doing the prices and everything. So he's been I couldn't have done it without him, literally.
Excellent. So it's so cool to have a family business, and it can have its challenges because you can really get on each other's nerves. But it sounds like you have a really nice blend, a really nice camaraderie, and you basically know what lane each of you are meant to be in. So that's a wonderful thing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
In a matter of 6 months, you pivoted twice. You shifted twice. So you went from leaving Mary in a 6-figure business to shifting your business twice. Did you ever expect this to happen, Steve?
No. I mean, once, fair enough, but twice like that? No, absolutely not.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, your intuition in doing this software, what was going on inside of you when these people were asking you to work with your software, and what were your intuitive hits around it?
Well, it was really, so what I teach, or what I taught rather, is client attraction. And I taught a model where you go, you've got to understand the pain points of the customer, of the client, and then you've got to understand where they want to get to. And when you are able to communicate that you have a solution to their pain point, then you can bring them to the ultimate solution that they want to have. When you can do that, then you got a hit. And then with Eventraptor, people were talking to me and they went, I got that pain point, and I want what you have. And I went like, okay, this is just happening. So I couldn't even say to you that my intuition happened. It was like, I'm teaching this stuff. I'm telling everybody. I'm repeating it. I did a 3-day event where the whole premise was client attraction and how you take, here's the pain you're going through, here's the solution they want. And if you can tell them that you can deliver that for them, and suddenly everybody's going, Eventraptor, I have that pain and I want that solution.
There you go.
It just fell into place.
So tell us how a Eventraptor can assist an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a speaker in enhancing their business.
So let's take a speaker first. If you're just a speaker and you don't want to have any kind of hosting or any kind of event yourself, then first of all, you can be listed in our speaker directory, right? And the speaker directory, we expect to be very popular because people will want to do events. And when they have events in our platform, guess what? They are going to go to the speaker directory to try to recruit them. Makes total sense. So just by being a speaker in the speaker directory, you're going to get more business.
Brilliant.
Or more speaking opportunities, I should say. Then secondly, the big pain point that people are having is they're spending so much time on the organizing of the summit, of trying to manage the speakers, that they literally have no time to actually market it. I have spoken to people who said, I ran a summit and I had PTSD afterwards, right? Others said to me, I run my summit and it took so long to do, but I had committed to all of these people. I had to put all of my other marketing activities on hold for 2 months. And I had to delay everything for 2 months because of the amount of work that went into creating my summit, and I'm removing that pain. You can literally create the summit and run it within 10 hours with the whole of the organization. I'm not saying the recruitment, I'm saying the organization of that. But we're making recruitment easy by having the speaker directory, And what is the ultimate outcome people have? Well, the ultimate outcome is they want to make money. They want to be able to promote the products. They want to get people into the summit. And by saving this, fixing this pain point of the time they have to spend, we're giving them the solution. You're going to get more customers, clients. You're going to get more authority. You're going to basically have more time available to spend selling all of the other services that you're doing. That is really what we're giving them.
That is brilliant. Now, what about 5-day challenges and 3-day events?
Oh, very good. So 5-day challenges is something we will be supporting. We may have a solution short term for people who want to work directly with us, but later on we're going to build it into a platform that you can do 5-day challenges within our platform as well.
Nice.
3-day events, we're going to be supporting very, very quickly, and we have some amazing things happening with 3-day events.
And you're going to be doing my own 3-day event in July.
Awesome. I'm just going to close the window here. Suddenly, I have kids screaming outside. The neighbors. There we are. Joyce, working.
So I'm looking at that as a sign, because the kids are having fun. And you know what? What Eventraptor does, it brings the fun back into doing these events.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to use that as a sign that those children are telling us that it's time for us to have fun. Now, what about these gift giveaways?
So gift giveaways are very powerful as well. People are often confused what a gift giveaway is. And what it is, it's a group of typically coaches coming together and offering a gift, a download of some kind, free information, but they're doing it as a group of people. So they all promote it. And when they promote it and you opt into it, you then go to a landing page where all the gifts are shown, and you click and go to the individual, the coach who's offering the gift, and you opt into their list and you get the gift. That's how it works.
Nice.
And as a host, it is so powerful. I would say that you can expect to get, well, depending on the quality of the contributors, the people who are participating, depending on your ability to make sure that people actually have a list and they will be promoting, you can expect to add maybe 500, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 people to your list.
That is brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. Very, very nice. So, Steve, you're an entrepreneur. You're a solopreneur. You've now shifted twice. What is the best advice that you can give the SHIFTology Live audience about being an entrepreneur and a solopreneur?
I would say that the challenge I see that people are having all the time is really understanding their client, understanding what problem they are solving.
Okay.
What most coaches do, especially when they're starting out, is going like, oh, I got this skill, I got this thing, I want to teach the world, so I'm just going to go out and talk about it, and people like me, and they will figure out that I'm the one who can solve it for them. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. What you need to go out and do is saying, hey, I have a skill that I can use. Do people want my skill set? Are people prepared to pay for that? And you go out, you do your research, you interview people, you ask them a set of questions around that. Like, do you have this problem in your life? How much is it worth for you to solve that problem in your life? What will the changes be in your life if you have it solved? And what you'll find is that many, many, many times people are going, yes, it is something that is an issue in my life, but I'm not really willing to spend money on solving it. I'm not really willing to invest weeks of, whether you call it therapy or coaching or whatever it is, to try to get out of this. For many people, the problem isn't big enough. And even if you hit the nail on the head in terms of what the problem is, are you providing the outcome that they want?
Nice.
Because if you're not actually providing the outcome, if you're not able to say, this is what you want, and I'm going to give that to you, then why would they buy your solution?
Well, what I know is you have hit on a pain point in the personal and professional development field of saving time, effort, and money, actually, because time is money in creating these events. And I congratulate you, Steve, because you did listen to the breadcrumbs that were in front of you. And I truly believe, as well as others that I've spoken to, that you your product is going to turn the industry on its head.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Terry.
So at the bottom, we have I have a link. If you're interested in connecting with Steve, or if you're interested in learning more about Eventraptor, the link is at the bottom on my resources page. If you go to intuitiveleadership.com, and you can either click on, I don't think this link is actually clickable, but if you go to the resources page for intuitiveleadership.com, you will see various resources, and one of them is Eventraptor. I am so excited about, Steve, you sharing your story, and I am so excited about this product because you know how I feel about it. I'm going to be using it a lot. So I want to thank you for your courage, number one, in following your intuition, your courage in taking the next step, your next steps, and your courage to develop something and understand that when it got landed in front of you, you were able to say yes. So that means an awful lot. So thank you for being my guest today, Steve, on SHIFTology Live. And I wish you tremendous, tremendous success and many congratulations.
Thank you so much, Terry, and thank you for having me on here. I truly value our friendship as well. And I'm so pleased to be able to help you with your events going forward through Eventraptor as well.
It's going to be fun. Watch out, world. Until next time, thank you all for coming to SHIFTology Live, and we will see you really soon with another tidbit on how to grow your business and succeed in ways that you never thought possible to your success.